This ends now.
Well, hello there. Don't mind me. I'm just taking a vacation in Station Square. Just look at these graphics. I also just so happened to grow up with Sonic's media. I have adored this hedgehog so much as a kid. Watching Sonic.EYX and Sonic Boom, playing the Flash games a ton, witnessing people tearing Sonic.EYX apart, playing the mobile version of Sonic 1 and 2, replaying the first level of Sonic Heroes and Adventure 2 a ton, and of course, Sonic.EYX.
This is normal. Sucking.
But the thing about me is that I have never actually beaten any of the Sonic games before, and I decided to play some of them for 2024. It also helped that Sonic 3 came out in the same year too. The games in question were Sonic 1, 2, 3 and Knuckles, Adventure 1, Adventure 2, Shadow the Hedgehog, Unleashed and Mania Plus. In case you are wondering, here's my ranking. Adventure 1 is better than 2. I haven't played Heroes yet, and trying to find a PS4 copy of Frontiers wasn't exactly easy. I also own Sonic and All-Stars Transformed, which I didn't beat exactly, but I had fun with it. It's not the PC version where it has TF2 characters. Nah, this version has Ralph. I really had fun playing these games, even if I was frustrated with some of them, and because this video is more focused on Sonic Movie 3, I will comment on the other two, and Knuckles I guess. Sonic 1 is okay. It barely has much of Sonic's shtick, and it's more of a cartoon character showing up in the real world type movie that was popular in the 2000s and 2010s. Doesn't help that James Marsden is in this movie too. Even with that, I think they do it fine because I actually care about the human characters, as well as I like Tom and Sonic's dynamic throughout the whole film. And I couldn't even imagine this would work out with this abomination.
Meow?
A few issues here and there with some jokes not landing that much, and there's also a plot hole about Tom being falsely accused of terrorism, but he doesn't even get affected by it when he enters a very public building and gets access to the top. I thought that was weird. Also Sonic flosses and that scared me to death. Sonic 2 is a better movie for me. I know there's a very heated debate about whether or not this is better than the first movie, but I really don't care about this. Video game adaptation discussion is always heated anyway, even with well-received adaptations. I just think this movie has better action, character moments, and some amazing scenes here. I like the connection Sonic and Knuckles have with their past, and it plays out great at the end. I also like Tails in here, even if he always goes, "Only Sonic the Hedgehog can kill a bunch of CEOs." What's holding it back though is some of the humor, just like in the first movie. And also the whole wedding subplot, which I don't even hate, but I feel like it should have been trimmed down a bit, because it kind of ruins the pacing for it. Also Eggman flosses and that scared me to death. The Knuckles show is cinema! It's easily the weakest one in this universe. Don't get me wrong, it's not like the worst TV show I have ever seen, but the show has a problem with balancing weights and Knuckles subplot. It doesn't help that it only has 6 episodes, a practice that a lot of companies do nowadays, and I hate it so much. If it had like 10 episodes and fleshed out a ton of stuff with Wade and Knuckles, it would be on par with Sonic 2 for me. Also, fuck Wanda. They try to do the whole brother and sister arguing with each other, but they go way too far with it. She is a bitch with a capital B. The villains really needed more screen time, which sucks because the two henchmen were pretty engaging. Kid Cudi really looked like he had too much fun in the role, and it's so funny to watch. The show could be funny at times, honestly.
Thanks, Eric!
For some reason, I liked Wade in here. I never cared for him that much in the previous movies, but I don't know, the stupid white boy won over me. There are some cool actions, especially in episode 3. The 4th episode is the most ridiculous shit I have ever seen in this universe, and it's beautiful. And Knuckles himself is amazing in the show. Of course I have to mention this, it also gave us this.
The flames of disaster!
So with all that out of the way, what did I think of Sonic Movie 3? What if I told you that this movie made me cry? That's not a joke, I rarely cry at movies. So if one manages to make me weep like a fucking idiot, you know this shit is peak for me. The CGI is really incredible. The effects in Sonic 1 and 2 looked good, but they were a bit off at times. However, Knuckles and Sonic 3 have the best CGI showcases, and you can feel the budget with these. Sonic 3 cost around $122 million and looks more colorful, expressive, beautiful, and well integrated than the Lion King prequel with $200 million.
What did you say about my brother?
This isn't me shitting at the VFX artists behind the Mufasa movie, it all comes down to poor direction. Not like this movie though. Who could have thought the director who used to be one of the animators behind Shadow the Hedgehog 2005 would have this movie's effects look good? It's almost as if he treats the VFX artists like normal people. Speaking of well executed stuff, every character in this movie is at their best here. Sonic is still goofy, but it's nice to see how he becomes more mature in this film. When Shadow almost kills Tom, which I predicted by the way, Sonic becomes very serious about wanting to fight Shadow. And in the scene where Sonic and Knuckles are arguing about whether getting the Master Emerald is a good idea, it is quite sad how they end the conversation. It's just great character writing, and it all helps that Knuckles and Tails are fully utilized in this film. Tails is much better here than in Sonic 2, and Knuckles gets great characterization, especially after watching Sonic 2 and the Knuckles TV show. They even well integrated the humans in this movie. It's clear that they learned their lesson from the wedding scene in Sonic 2. Then we have the best thing about this movie, Shadow the Hedgehog. As someone who claims Shadow as the best Sonic character in the games, I am so happy that they did his character justice. I wasn't 100% sure about Keanu Reeves voicing Shadow because he's more of a better actor than a voice actor. But my god, he kills the role in this movie. You do kind of forget he even voices the character because his performance is that good.
Now, why don't you stop throwing cars at us for a second and come down here to talk?
You jumped out of a gun helicopter. There's nothing to talk about. Now you know my anger, the pain I've felt for 50 years.
Although, he doesn't say then. Well, screw it, I will do it with even more profanity.
Probably working with all those filthy
that was really bad.
His backstory with Maria is what made me cry while watching this film. Even at the opening of the movie, when we saw a brief flashback of his backstory, I went,
"That's what I'm talking about. This shit means something to me."
Another thing I liked about him is his connection with Sonic. The scene of them sitting on the moon while they have a conversation about what they have lost throughout their lifetime is just beautiful. And holy shit, the final act is the best moment in the entire franchise. Sonic and Shadow get a hold of the Master Emblem as they have a full-on Dragon Ball-like fight. Then later on, they try to prevent the Ark from destroying Earth as Eggman and Jared have a goofy fight with each other. Knuckles and Tails risk themselves to save Sonic, while Shadow pushes the Ark away before it explodes. Eggman makes a broadcast to the city just to tell Agent Stone that he will miss him as he sacrifices himself and makes a callback to the first movie. It's just holy shit, this is peak! On top of all of that, they actually used Live and Learn for the final act. These movies are infamous for having some of the most forgettable scores of all time, while not even bringing the music that came from the games, which is the most important thing about the games as a whole. Even the worst ones have some good ass music. But then the post-credit scene not only shows multiple Metal Sonics around, but after so many years, they finally got Amy Rose to show up. And my reaction to it was basically, This does make me wonder if Sonic 4 is gonna adapt Sonic CD's story, because that game not only has Metal Sonic and Amy, but also deals with time travel, and I am wondering if they can get time travel right in the movie universe. I'm also open to Agent Stone being a villain for the next trilogy after what happened to Eggman. He is a great character and it would be so cool to see him in that role. Also, I don't know where to put this, but I agree with the masses. I ship these two.
Pin yourself to the wall.
You know I won't miss you when you're gone.
And speaking of villains, Gerald makes Eggman look like a normal person. Yeah, he's as goofy as Eggman, but my god, this man is a lunatic. After Eggman realizes what Gerald's plan actually is, that son of a bitch tells Eggman to his face, quote,
Oh, Ivo. You're no Maria.
Gonna hand it to Jim Carrey, cause the way he delivered that line made my jaw drop to the floor. And there's also the scene inside of the gun headquarters, where after Rockwell grabs the key card for the Ark, Eggman just goes,
I can't believe this!
and Gerald responds with,
No, grandson. A woman in the military.
You might as well have the critical drinker play Gerald, cause what the fuck is his problem? I'm glad he got vaporized like a mosquito at the end. Even if it's kinda funny and jarring to see Eggman, Knuckles and Tails celebrate his death. Honestly, I don't have any negative stuff to say about this movie. Even the humor is better than before for me. The only thing I could complain about this movie would have to be the marketing. I tried to avoid them after realizing they were showing way too much in the marketing. For some reason they showed the scene of Super Sonic and Shadow. Yeah, it's far away, but an average Sonic fan can tell what this is immediately. I shit you not, I think they showed about 50% of the film in the marketing.
What? Get the hell out! Get out! Get out! Get out!
So, in conclusion, I kinda like this movie.
Konnichiwa?
If there is a standard that video game movies should have, it would be this one. It's not ashamed of its source material, the changes that it has isn't unnecessary changes, or a good idea but wasted potential. It's just that good. Sonic 3, as of right now, is the best video game movie. Looking back at the whole trilogy, it's amazing to me what we have gone through ever since that terrible Sonic design. It's fascinating to see how a simple change could result in us getting to this moment right here. What an insane ride to get through. Being a Sonic fan this year has been quite fascinating, especially with the release of this movie and Shadow Generations, which sadly I don't have, but hopefully I will in the future. This was a better year dedicated to a beloved character than whatever Nintendo tried to do with Luigi. And I know some people wanted this movieverse to only be a trilogy, but honestly I am excited for what's to come. Whatever it is, I will wait for it. Just don't fuck up Rouge. This is the part where I would give a number score, but I actually made my own tier list for video game adaptations as a whole. I will rank Sonic the Hedgehog 3 to A tier. I do wonder what other video game adaptations I will be adding in the future.
I am Steve.
Oh god, do I have to review this?
Revenge guac.
What?